Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to the 17th of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 for the next 4 weeks, gets us into the beginning of February at the end of the video, and I should get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've also released the first extended European outlook of the year. Please check out those two vids if you would like to do that. Like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, still sounding rather husky today. Sound like I'm on 60 a day high tar cigarettes. A bit of Bonnie Tyler going on, maybe, a bit of Chris Rea. As long as I'm not on the road to hell. Anyway, I feel okay. So, my good friend Soft Shallow told me this is age-related. As you get older, apparently, you start getting croaky voices appearing randomly. So, worse could be to come. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. You're not interested in my health woes, so let's crack on. The central temperature is now down to 3.2. That is 0.7 of a degree below the 61 to 90 average, and is provisional to yesterday to the 6th of January. That will carry on dropping through the rest of this week. So by the end of the week, that could well end up in the ones. A very cold start to January. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So at London today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And we're starting off colder than average at the moment. So we've got about another 5 days to go of cold spell. But over the weekend, upper air temperatures start lifting up. It will become milder, I think, through the early part of next week. But it's not all that straightforward, this, because high pressure looks like it's going to be building quite strongly over the country through the course of next week. And so whilst it may get milder for a day or two next week, I won't be at all surprised if we start getting an inversion going next week and we turn pretty cold with some frost, fog and a bit of a gruesome twosome. So we've got to drill down into the detail of this seemingly much milder pattern. Then we get to the end of the ensemble graph, and we find the upper air temperatures coming back down close to the long-term average. Precipitation-wise, going to be some precipitation to come over the course of this week. Some of that could be snow, of course. And then we've got a lot of dry weather through the middle part of January as that high pressure gets going. Perhaps a hint of something more unsettled towards the end of the third week of January, by 23rd of January. But of course, that is a long way off. That is therefore unreliable. So, sorry everyone, temperature anomalies from the 7th to the 15th of January are a bit colder than average. Precipitation anomalies from the 7th to 15th of January, drier than average in the east, and probably most areas a little bit on the drier side, to be fair. The latest wind map from earthnullschool.net shows that winds remain from the north today, and we've got low pressure. The low pressure weekend, actually, is just over Norway and Sweden, and on its backside we're bringing down this cold northerly wind with air that is originating all the way from the Arctic. Right, let's start going through the chart data. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking for midnight on Friday. High pressure in the country still mainly dry and cold. Into the weekend, the weather system comes in from the Atlantic on Saturday. Could bring some rain, snow, but also some milder air with it. And then by Sunday, we start going into a southwesterly flow. So that turns things milder. And those milder conditions may continue through next week with high pressure over France, low pressure over Iceland. We're back to westerly wind. And we're looking a lot milder then in all areas, even down in the south. We're looking milder with that one. Icon again with pretty cold weather into the weekend, but gradually start to turn milder. So by the start of next week, we're into those southwest winds, looking a lot milder then. And then we're flat as a pancake till Tuesday with high pressure around Spain, low pressure towards Iceland, and still bringing up those mild west southwesterly winds. But KMA been very consistent about this milder weather. Looks like this, all areas turning much milder through the early part of next week. And then we find the high pressure sitting close potentially, so that might bring something a bit cooler with some frost and fog into the second half of January. You'll note there's another big cold blast going into much of northern, central, eastern Europe with that trough of low pressure. We're kind of on the periphery of that, but a little adjustment out to the north and west, and it's possible we will start to tap into that colder air again. But as it is, I think it just turns cooler with the KMA with some frost and fog. Right, well, GFS midnight run, all much of them actually staying cold into the weekend. Southeast probably stays cold to the start of next week, but by next Monday, southwest winds are being drawn up, and that is a much milder wind direction, of course. So by next Tuesday, this time next week, we're all looking milder there, even in the south. However, not for all that long potentially, as high pressure then starts to build strongly over and to the east of the country. Now, for Scotland and Ireland, that's probably still a mild pattern, to be honest. But for England and Wales, I think we will start to drag in colder air from off continent again with that. So whilst there's a brief milder period early next week for south and southeast, I think later next week the GFS is turning things cold again in the south and the east with night frost. Now, that doesn't last all that long though, and then we start turning more unsettled into extended range as westerlies come back and it begins to turn a bit wet and windy. That's a long way off though. GFS 6Z again suggesting that there could be a bit of rain and snow around from Friday into Saturday, so staying cold into the weekend, and for the south and the east, probably cold throughout the weekend, to be honest. For the northwest, a bit milder. By the early part of next week, though, we're all into those milder west winds, even in the south, with the lifting the temperature up. But again, you see that idea of high pressure coming back through the middle part of next week, strengthening around Germany, and that could well pull back in colder air from off what is still a cold continent. That's day 10, very anti-cyclonic, 1040 millibar area of high pressure right over top of the UK. That does suggest to me frost and fog. I think next week could turn increasingly frosty and foggy. The Gruesome Twosome. We're going to find that the high pressure weakens so into the extended range as milder west and windy weather comes back. And check this out, that looks very zonal actually. That's 22nd of January. High pressure then going back to Spain, low pressure deepening with both vortex around Greenland, Iceland, and a strong zonal westerly flow setting in. Oh, well, we haven't seen all that much zonality for a while. That does look very, very zonal there. Not at all what you want if you want extended spell of cold weather. Right, well, if you enjoy the video, please like, share, and subscribe. It's a long way out. But anyway, if you enjoy the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much, everyone, for doing that. Why don't you drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. About 45 subscribers gets us to 19.4k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be absolutely awesome. Awesome. So much, everyone. GM, again with that ratio country on Friday, mostly dry and cold. Getting a bit wintry, maybe Friday and Saturday, with this area of low pressure just here. But then by the beginning of next week, we're all into milder west-southwesterly winds, although the high pressure builds back towards the end of next week, could bring some frost and fog back to England and Wales, while Scotland and Ireland stays mild with southwesterlies. And then the ECM rounding it all up. Quite cold for England and Wales into the weekend, turning mild of Scotland and Northern Ireland. Next week, we're all looking mild then, I think, but very quickly high pressure builds back. So by day 10, we've got a large area of high pressure, 1040 millibars, sitting over top of the country. That's next Friday, 17th of January. And again, that is very suggestive, I think, of an increasing risk of frost and fog next week. And that high pressure fest carries on with the ECM more or less to the end of the run, to be honest. We eventually perhaps into turning a bit more unsettled out to the west, but that's a prolonged period of high pressure and potentially a prolonged period of frost and fog that we've got going on there. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Spectre.com. So now it's starting to look as though Wednesday's snow potential is passing into France and not really getting into the south. It'll probably be an outcast, and we'll probably update you with that tomorrow. I would have thought tomorrow morning. Anyway, beyond that, so a little bit of rain and sleet into the west at the end of the week, but most places dry, and those dry conditions really carry on all the way up to day 10, to be honest. There's not much precipitation doing at all in the next 10 days, very dry outlook. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets to the 17th of January. 13 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure right over top of the country. That suggests frost and fog. We've got 11 with high pressure, again, more or less over country. Could be frost and fog for England and Wales, maybe a bit mild of Scotland and Ireland. Another 11 with high pressure over to the east of the country, wind coming off the continent. Again, that's quite suggestive of like frost and fog. We've got 9 with high pressure over and slightly to the south of the country. Again, you know, very anticyclonic anyway. 4 high pressure, perhaps a bit further northwards with a bit of an easterly flow. And then 3 with high pressure just out to the west. They're all high pressure, and it's just exact placement of the area of high pressure. But to me, they are all really suggesting frost and fog at day 10. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 22nd of January. 27 members of the ECM ensembles keeping that high pressure going. So frost and fog all the way out to like almost the final week of January there. Have got 24, significant minority with a complete pattern change though. High pressure slips south, low pressure develops out in the Atlantic, and we go back into a milder westerly flow, turning wet and windy from the Atlantic. So it's almost a 50-50 split, not quite. We just about favour the drier sort of frost and fog outcome and cyclonic outcome, but it's not a lot in it. So by 2 weeks out, you know, it's all to be revealed really. But before then, day 10, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. Right, CFS V2 means a 500 middle bar height and orange, breaking down into week periods. The first week period, dates from the 7th, 13th of January. The next week with high pressure towards Greenland and down towards Spain, trying to bring back like a mild westerly type flow. Week 2, will be the 14th to the 20th of January with high pressure right over the top of the country, mostly dry and fine. Week 3, but could be frost and fog. Week 3, 21st, 27th of January, high pressure over and to the south, mostly dry with that again. And then week 4 is the 28th of January to the 3rd of February, high pressure then more towards the Alps, and that's bringing up a very mild southwesterly wind. So it takes until about week 4, I think, to turn, you know, definitively mild and get rid of any frost and fog potential. Before that, a lot of high pressure and, you know, probably milder incursions, especially for the north and the west, but for the south, I mean, it's probably quite a lot of cold weather with frost and fog, if not wintry. There's no suggestion of snow here from the north or from the east, but you know, still keeping it quite seasonal, I think, for the south and the east a lot of the time. Right, just have a quick look at the strat. So this is the latest GFS stratospheric temperature forecast at 10 HPA. The blue purple colours are the cold temperatures at 10 HPA in the stratosphere. That is the stratospheric polar vortex, you know, at its roots in the strat. Warming is taking place, significant warming taking place over Siberia at the moment, but isn't an SSW, and it's not going to have any direct effect on the stratosphere other than to cause a displacement event of the polar vortex. So we find the PV, stratospheric polar vortex, being pushed out into the Atlantic, Greenland, and northern parts of Europe in the extended range. Those cold temperatures again around Scandinavia and northern Europe. Displacement event of the stratospheric polar vortex up to the 23rd of January, but still well and truly in business with PV up to the 23rd of January. No sign of a proper SSW there, and no sign of reversal of zone winds or anything like that. So we shall keep monitoring, and of course we're doing the next episode, which I think is episode 6 of Stratwatch tomorrow. So if you're interested in all things stratospheric, then that will be released probably about midday tomorrow. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Show everyone for doing that. So tomorrow we've got 6 a.m. forecast. We've got episode 6, I think, of Stratwatch, and we'll be live at 6 p.m. with the 10 to 14-dayer, and perhaps a little mini snow watch as well. Who knows? But live stream tomorrow at 6. I shall see you then. For this one, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'm off for a gargle and some honey and lemon and maybe a drop of something a bit stronger. And you have a great rest of your Tuesday, and bye for now.